When last we left off with our wonderful nest of Baali, they had just come off of unleashing a deception demon on the city and told it to go fuck with the Hyatt, which is where we know that Nerissa's ritual is taking place and where their main well is of sacrifice. They were potentially being summoned by the prince to have their blood tested and their auras tested by the Tremere to make sure that they were not infected somehow by the infernal taint of the previous nest they uncovered and subsequently blew a house up around. So there's that. They got rid of the demon Venathra, which is a good thing. They managed to do that with their mentor Quincy, who is currently out of town. Quincy has left to see about basically getting other Baali nests in the area to come to the city of Chicago and kind of work on countering some of the influence that Nerissa and her people are having with the cultivar. Now, that all being said, crazy stuff has occurred. There's been a lot more Project First Light attacks in the city. There's been a lot more hunter activity in the city. There's been Sabbat presence in the city that just attacked, the Civic Opera House. So there's been a lot of problems going on in Chicago. Where we last left off, they had let everyone know. Well, they let Mitchell know, which is them letting Sierra, hence letting the city know what was going on roughly underneath the Hyatt. So the information was put out there to let the hierarchy do with what they will, and they escaped after disrupting enough people that Nerissa had captive. Well, literally what they did was they let them loose and Nerissa's people killed them, which is going to disrupt her ability to get the ritual done on time. And then they kind of fled and let the city know about it. It's kind of like, hey guys, we did a thing, we found out a thing, have fun doing the other thing, and took off. We're now going to fast forward about 2 weeks. It's a Saturday. We're going to put everybody at hunger 1, so you don't have to worry about doing rouse checks. You guys are going to wake up completely from your day sleep at 1 hunger. You've been able to feed well. However, I will note it has been incredibly difficult to feed to this level at this point in time. It's been hard to feed at all in the past week or so. Within the past 7 nights, presence of police in the city has increased dramatically. There's been a massive increase in hunter presence. Nobody has heard anything from the caitiff in the city that anybody knows of. Not that anybody's really caring too much, but the caitiff have all gone completely silent. The hostilities with the Anarchs have increased, which has been a problem. There have been rumors that have kind of flitted through the grapevine that have gotten down to you guys via the clan Torador that people are having their havens attacked, that there have been several low-ranking members of the Camarilla, mostly, neonates, murdered or kidnapped by what are suspected to be Sabbat or other vampires. Nobody really knows for sure, but there's definitely a Sabbat presence still in the city. You guys wake up. It's been 2 weeks since you let all this information slide. This is the chaos that's landing in the city. What are you guys' plans for the evening?
Like I said, normal nightly ritual, and then it's a Saturday night. There's a lot going down. Preston, any news of any Elysiums coming up or any gatherings tonight? There's a lot of shit happening, so I assume the hierarchy's at least talking.
Well, I'm guessing with everything going on that things are even more, like information is even more tightly controlled than usual. So if there are gatherings, they're probably not as widely broadcast as usual. Am I right? Ray?
I would assume.
Mostly. The Subquest Club is not being used nearly as much lately. When you've gone out, Elysiums are standing up 24/7. There's no, we only go on these nights. There's just no planned gatherings or meetings. But as you've kind of gone out and about the city, the Succubus Club, which is usually a primary spot to go to, there's not really been anybody there. It's been very, very quiet there. You do know that the Art Institute has also been very, very quiet, but it's been the Art Institute has kind of been that way since that attack by Malenkov that murdered all the ghouls outside. It's been kind of quiet since then. There's really no planned meetings that you've heard about. When you've gone out to check out Elysiums, nobody's been around for the most part. Maybe a couple of people here and there of no importance, like no hierarchy members, though, have been seen.
Sort of not surprising. Everybody's probably just trying not to die. And then refresh my memory. Where did our mentor go?
Quincy went to Milwaukee, and then he said he was going also to Indianapolis. Yeah, so he's going north and south to gather a nest that he's working with to bring them into the city.
Okay. And then he was able to help us out with the Tremere thing before he left, right?
He put in some calls to basically try to mitigate things, yes, because he has strings that he could pull with DuSable.
All right, well, then what's the plan? I mean, we definitely need to figure something out because Nerissa is not just going to set on our ass.
As dumb as an idea as it is going to sound, I kind of want to check on that well.
I mean,
You
we
know,
can.
where we told your little servant to go hang out.
Yep.
Your little new friend that you made.
Yeah. We can go do that.
And it'll give us an idea of just how bad the situation is.
Yeah. Now, Ray, did we hear anything? Because we know, we funneled that info to the Losambra. The Losambra know what happened down there. Did we hear anything about them going down there? Anybody missing in the city short of...
There are a lot of people
potential
missing
Sabbat?
in this city right now, but you don't know whether or not it's Sabbat, it's
Or
Larissa's
hunters,
people, or hunters, or what's going on with that. You have no idea. Like, it's kind of up in the air. Sierra hasn't said, yeah, we're going to go raid this place. Nobody in the city has been made it obvious, like, yeah, there's this location height we're going to look for. But you also got to remember, even if the hierarchy does know about it as a whole, they're not going to say shit. Because the last thing they want to get out is that there's some massive infernal presence in the city of Chicago, on top of all the other issues. So even if the hierarchy was looking into it, you wouldn't fucking know about it.
Fair.
You're not in neither of you have any positions that would necessitate you hearing that information. So whether or not they know about it, I mean, that's really up in the air. I mean, you could call Sierra.
Especially not me, considering I'm probably the only kid
Not any
alive
of you
in Chicago.
Well, you have no idea. They just haven't been seen.
Right.
Whether or not they're dead or whatever. But there's also been, on that end, no talk about people murdering all the Caitiff. So what happened to all of them is also up in the air.
Fair. Well, if that's what you want to do, we can go.
Yeah, I would just kind of like to know if that worked and nobody's talking. And I'm not really sure that I want to go around making a bunch of phone calls.
Right. That's a good point.
And on the other side of that, you can't really call Mitchell because, as far as Mitchell's aware, you guys and Sierra are on the outs.
Right. We're not even on talking terms right now.
Yeah.
So.
And if there's, with increased First Light being around,
right.
I don't want to risk a lot on the phone at all.
Well, you guys saw what happened with Jason's, like, giving First Light somebody's phone number.
Fucking debacle. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of went a little downhill for him.
Yeah.
Which,
fuck that. So I don't know. I'm of the opinion at this point of just going old school and having a night about the town, making rounds, and just physically going and checking on places to get an idea of what's actually going on. But hopefully without getting ourselves, killed by Sabbat.
Or First Light, or Narissa. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like half the city we're cool with, the other half wants us dead. And that's par for the course, actually.
Half the city, it's cool. The other half of the city,
no. The reason why it's okay is because if they knew what we were, the whole city would want us dead. So the fact that half of them don't right now, that makes it okay.
I mean, the smart thing to do is to hide out in the house in the basement and do dark and evil things until we hear from what's his name with the reinforcements. But that's kind of boring. So let's just go out and find trouble.
Well, it's only been a couple of weeks. We don't need to perform it, especially because the size of the ritual we performed before, it was massive. So we got probably a couple of weeks before we need to do anything like that again. I mean, we did sacrifice fucking 13 people and a demon. So
yeah, but
yeah, no, we can. I'm cool with making a round, so we can do that.
Things are hungry. All right, so
should probably text Lamont at least to let him know that we're going for a night about the town.
Yeah, we'll just let him know we're out and about, but at this point, not where.
Right.
Good.
Okay. So you sent off that text message to him?
Yeah.
Not a problem. The message goes through. He's fine. He's just basically maintaining his mask tonight. He's working in the tattoo parlor, making sure everything, even though shit's been crazy, he can still keep that facade going. Along those lines, he would probably let you know that he's heard that the Painted Lady has been closed down. It's been shut for a period of time. Nobody really knows what the hell's going on with it. It's just kind of been shut down, is really what it is. It's just been closed. There's no real big indication of what's going on. It's just, until further notice, we have closed our doors type situation.
That could mean a bunch of shit, so I can't even speculate on that. All right, yeah, I guess we'll be heading out.
Where you guys headed first?
We're probably going to go, unless you want to go somewhere different, we're going to go to that well first, or is there somewhere else you would like to go first?
Let's start there.
All right. I'll pull into a parking garage probably a couple blocks away, and we'll hoof it for a couple of blocks because it's nice out. We're in May. no reason not to park a very bright white, fucking awesome Escalade
Well, so
further the fuck away from where
you
we
don't have an
actually wanna
Escalade. You have a white Lexus.
go. Or a Lexus. I'm sorry.
But you walk out of the house as you guys get dressed for the night. Everything's fine. You're feeling pretty good. It's further into May, so the weather's getting a lot more warm outside. So you don't really have to worry so much about constantly using the blush of life or blush of health to kind of make yourself appear human and try to breathe the clouds. You don't worry about that anymore because the clouds don't exist for people, currently with the weather. You step out to the car, and on the windshield under one of the wipers is looks like a folded up piece of parchment.
Well, first thing I'll do is I'll look around. Like, what the fuck?
No stray cats.
Well, that's definitely a fucking
Yeah,
good
that's
thing.
fucking good news.
And nothing that seems out of the ordinary for this neighborhood.
I'll grab it and look at it. Maybe somebody accidentally dinged us or something.
You grab the parchment out from underneath the windshield wiper and you kind of open it up, and there is simply one word and an address. And the word is Blackwaters, and there's an address from the west side on it.
I'll pass it over to Preston. Check this out.
I'm going to pull out my phone and Google the address.
It's a small, 3-flat on the west side of the city.
Okay, so it's a residence. It's not like a business or anything. Okay.
Nope, it's a residence.
Okay. Nice part of town. Is it like a high end?
West side, it's not really that great.
Well,
It's not terrible, but it's not awesome.
all right. Well, should we go check that out then?
Yeah, at the very least, we'll get jumped and we'll know that it was the right place. Again, I'll probably pull us like a couple of blocks away and we can hoof it.
This is you use the term parchment, so this isn't just like a normal piece of paper. This is
an old piece of paper for damn sure.
all right.
This is nothing really it's not like you went to the local Staples or Best Buy and picked up some computer paper. This is old, they pressed. You can feel the grain and the texture of the paper when you just rub your hand over it.
And is this written in a ink and quill type situation?
It looks like it's modern ink, maybe a modern pen. It's not like it's written in any sort of calligraphy. It's just old paper with good penmanship. You haven't seen the writing before. You're not familiar with it.
Okay, that was gonna be our next question. Because we have gotten a few mysterious notes during the course of this game.
Well, so you got the one from Nathaniel.
Mm-hmm.
You had a mysterious message from a little girl outside of Royston's shop. But those are the only letters that have been weird that you've gotten.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we should go, because if whoever left us this note knew enough where to find us to put this on our vehicle, if they wanted to kill us, they would have just come into our house and killed us.
That's true. And I have my suspicions of who it might be. So,
all right. Well, let's go find out.
Yeah. We'll park a couple blocks away and we'll hoof it just in case.
Sure. So you take off in the Lexus and head towards the west side. The drive is completely uneventful. However, as you go, you are definitely noticing a lot more police presence all over the streets. It's kind of insane. When you get to a place where you can park, you guys are walking through this neighborhood, and the neighborhood itself is pretty quiet. It's not the best of neighborhoods, but it's also not the worst. You guys have been in some pretty bad neighborhoods. This is not the worst in Chicago by a long stretch. It's relatively safe. You would expect most people here to kind of feel comfortable walking down the street at night. And as you guys get out of the car and start making your way down the sidewalks, just kind of walking casually, chatting over bullshit, weather, etc., whatever it is you guys want to talk about as you're walking down, just to keep up appearances, you start approaching this house. It's on the other side of the street from you. You can see that it's a standard Chicago 3-flat. Nothing stands out about it too much. You will see that there actually is a nice black SUV parked out front. The lights are on the main level because you have the garden apartment, the main level, the second floor technically, and the third level above that for the third apartment, so forth, on this 3-flat. And as you get there, you can see the lights are on the second floor. Nothing's on in the basement apartment. Nothing seems to be on the third floor either. It seems pretty quiet.
All right, then we should do a little legwork. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'll be around. You know how I do.
So you're gonna go and obfuscate?
Yeah.
Okay, you take a moment to kind of close yourself off, feel yourself kind of fade into the background, essentially. For Preston, Sullivan's gone. He's done his little hiding spiel again.
I'm going to get out of the car and I'm going to light up a cigarette.
Okay.
And I will just be kind of hanging out, looking around, being unassuming, smoking my cigarette. So if anybody is watching us, they're watching me because I'm being the visible one while Sullivan goes and fucks and sneaks around and shit.
So you just kind of chill out, light up a cigarette, just kind of hang out on the sidewalk. Sullivan, you're walking towards a house?
Yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of take a couple of minutes and almost like do a little circle around the house. The main thing I'm checking first would be if there's any movement, anything going on in the downstairs, and then the third floor to see if it's only occupied on the second floor or if the people below and above are asleep.
There's no movement on the basement apartment, and furthermore, all the windows can be blacked out.
That might be where they sleep. They probably own this whole building, would be my guess. I will, again, kind of make my way up to see if I can get up to the third floor via the stairs or whatever.
So to get to the third floor, you have to actually enter the building itself.
Okay.
There's no outside.
There's no back.
No.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see here.
And moreover, when you go around the building, there's no. A lot of Chicago, like normal buildings, there would be like 3 like patios in the back. There's no back scaffolding. It's just the main. It's like that one house you went to a while back when you ran into that weird sacrifice for Venathra. It's got the second level kitchen doorway that has a stairs that goes up to it and a basement level doorway that goes down. Nothing for the third floor on the outside.
All right. Well, just by the basement being blacked out, it leads me to believe that they probably own the whole building. Whoever, the Blackwaters, whoever lives here. So I guess I will try to go up to the back door and see what I can hear and or see.
Second level or basement?
Second level.
Okay.
Second level.
You walk to the second level. You can see that there's some sheer curtains that have kind of been pulled across the back door, the window. The windows back here, all the blinds are drawn. You can see lights on mostly in the front of the house. You're just hearing what sounds like TV, news reports.
Okay. I'm not going to break my obfuscate just yet, so I'm going to go back downstairs, and I'll go back down to the bottom floor through the actual staircase.
Okay, so you step down the stairs from the back, and you go down that little indentation in the ground where you can go to the back floor. So you go to the back level, the back door for the basement apartment, and you immediately feel as you go towards that door, it's warded.
Okay, so definitely vampires sleep here. All right, I'll kind of drop down on a knee, and I'll put myself up against what I assume is probably like the concrete.
Yeah, there's like it's basically like you step down through a concrete stairwell there.
Right. So I'm out of sight, and I'll pull out my phone, and I will obviously have it on silent, and I'll shoot him a text message, and it's gonna say bottom for sleep, second floor news, not sure third.
I'm just gonna respond front door, and I'm just gonna go to the front door.
I'll start making my way around to the front door as well.
An obfuscate or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So Preston starts walking across the street. You going to the basement apartment door or the second floor?
Second floor.
Okay. You step up through the stairs. There are these old, like, weird concrete / stone stairs. Like, the concrete is one of those weird blends where you can see these little pebbles and rocks in it as you kind of step up. It's almost like textured almost. And you make your way up to the landing where the second story is, and you can see, like, there's a small, like, folding chair to one side. There's a potted plant that looks like it's been recently pulled out to the left-hand side of the stairs as you kind of emerge onto that platform. There's a screen door, and then there's a normal like wooden door with like those old school like 3 slatted windows that kind of like one's down a little further than the next, like from the 70s. Mm-hmm. And you can hear like as you get up there, like there's TVs going on. It sounds like it's probably WGN because WGN has that weird sound quality to it where it's like really, really hyper crisp and just sounds awkward when you compare it to other channels. Chicago thing. You can hear like the news is coming on.
I'm gonna open the screen door and knock on the main door.
You knock on the door as Sullivan gets around and pulls up to the level with you, and unseen, and you hear after a moment the first knock, the sound starts slowly getting decreased on the TV. Like somebody's like, "Did I hear something?"
And I'll knock again.
At that point, you hear the TV go silent as if somebody hit the mute button. And you hear footsteps walk towards the door, and the door opens, and you'll see, you guys got a picture back in the day of Ashram. He's got the beard, dark hair, dark skin. He opens up the door and sees you. He's like, what can I do for you?
I'll hold up the parchment with the address on there. You rang?
Who the fuck are you?
Preston. Who the fuck are you?
He'll close the door. Doesn't slam. He's just like, you just hear it shut.
I'll wait. Because I'm a Torador, and you don't do this to me.
You hear
I'll send a text message to Preston.
you hear footsteps
I'll just-
walking towards
I'll
the
just
door.
put her mortal descendants.
Starting to think we misread the intent of this note.
Oh, absolutely. I have a feeling these are her touchstones.
All right.
No. I think this was more of, hey, this is where they are, not, hey, this is us and we want to meet you.
So
Right.
just so we're aware, on this roll, they're going to need 9s. Now, mind you, in V5, there is no, like, you don't modify the difficulty usually. It's always flat, but I'm going to make it 9s on this. All right. So, this is technically surprise. You heard the footsteps come back, and then all of a sudden, the door explodes as a gunshot goes off through the door, center of it. I'll give you a chance to make
shit.
an athletics plus dexterity just out of like sheer like click click, and I have Auspet, so I get that second of like, wait, something's not right. So
Spidey sense.
I'll let you, basically had the benefit of Spidey sense here. He did tag you with 1 success. So the shotgun could clip you.
Dex Athletics, you said, yes?
Yes, sir.
We have Dyson. Don't forget you can rouse.
1 success. All right, so I'm going to spend a willpower to reroll 3 of the non-successes.
You would, wouldn't you?
And we're going to spend 2 dice out of the NPC pool.
You really want to shoot me.
I kind of do. Tell me you don't deserve it. Lie to me,
can't.
Sean. Lie
I
to
can't.
me.
I can't. I definitely deserve it.
All right, so that's 2 more. Do you want to? Oh wow, you only have.
Oh, I can't beat that.
So that's 3 more actually. So it's total of
3 more.
4. You can spend a willpower to roll the 1 dice that's not success, and then you can also spend player dice if you'd like to.
So let's see. I need 3 to tie.
Yeah,
Take what you got to take, my dude.
I'll feel good about it.
3.
I'll blow the willpower and take 4 dice.
Okay.
Which brings us down to what, 2?
Yep.
Okay. Legit. I back it.
So we'll do a willpower reroll. I got 3 more.
Oh, look at you. So the shotgun blast goes off and blows this massive hole like the size of a cantaloupe in the door. Completely shreds that screen door. But at that last moment, you just kind of throw yourself to the side at the last moment, and you just hear like all the pellets just flit right by your face. Sullivan's lucky. He was just to one side of the door, like going, and obviously like he's talking to you, and just boom, it just passes you by. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna jump through the window that's next to the door.
So the way that 3 flats are usually set up is you have the door, and then you have a small patio, and then the windows are off the patio. So there's nothing right next to it. You have to
Gotcha.
you have to climb up to the side of the patio and try to leap on an angle through a window.
When the guy closed the door, did you hear the lock or did he just close the door?
She just seemed to have closed the door.
I'm gonna try and just reach over and open and push.
So you're gonna pop your obfuscate, open and push the door.
Yep.
Okay, so you kind of reach through the massive hole in the screen door, grab the doorknob, turn it, and push it open. And you do so, and you see Ashram standing there and just literally cocking the shotgun again.
Okay. I will be going to attack him, I guess. Through the screen door.
Go ahead and roll your dex and brawl. And
I am going to rouse. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Of course, hunger 2. Yes, and I will attempt to roll.
okay, do you want to
It is
use?
to establish a grapple.
Okay, go ahead and roll your stuff.
Ooh, I got 3.
You got 4.
What a dick.
You got 2 10s. Critical success.
Damn.
So you gotta reach him.
Power,
Okay,
which gives me how many dice?
2.
It's 2. Yeah, just 2. It's okay. I'm cool with that. Booyah! And they're both 10s. So I got 6.
Indeed. So you reach in to grab at him. He basically puts the shotgun up to kind of ward you off, but you kind of make your way inside to the foyer here, the front room, or as we call in Chicago, the front room, and you push him back against the wall and you manage to grab him on the shoulders, which leads us to Preston.
Well, since he went bursting in like some kind of a hero, I'm gonna go running back into the place, like charging after him. And while I go look for something I might be able to use as a weapon, shard of the door or something.
There's really nothing in the area to grab because the door itself is like that really crappy like particle wood. So if you rip off a piece, it's just like ripping off like this thin little layer of like just nothing that will probably just snap.
All right. Then I'm going to go storming in the house and look for something I can use as a weapon.
Okay. So
Lamp, something.
you burst into the door as effectively, with Sullivan jumping through the screen, ripping that even wider and pushing the door open. He's now against this wall of the front room with Ashram. You go in and you see the second Blackwater that you know of standing there with a rifle as you stream in. And she sees you, and it looks like she's been waiting because the guy who charged in and grabbed Ashram was not the guy that she saw at the door. So you come in, she's just going to pull the fucking trigger. So athletics plus dexterity.
I think this is the first time we're actually getting into like the physical shit.
It is.
Yeah, we're about to get fucked up too.
Yeah, we are. But
So
a
she's
couple
got
of fucking
3.
humans.
Yeah, I only got 1.
So that's going to be, so she beats you by 2. It's going to be a total of 5, but half it. So it's going to be 2 superficial that you take.
Don't frenzy, Preston.
And roll your willpower to see if you can avoid frenzy. You're fine. You only needed a 2. You rolled a 3, but did you get 2 10s? Let's take a look. You did not, just 1. So, but you're good. You get shot, your beast wants to recoil and then just surge back with anger, but you manage to kind of quell it down. As you step in past that gunshot, you can see there's definitely a lamp nearby you can use. There's a coat, like a coat stand you can use as a bludgeon or like just a club. Either one would work.
You know what? I'm going to switch gears. And I just got shot. And that doesn't feel good. So I am instead going to go, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm just here to talk. I'm going to try and entrance the bitch who just shot me.
Okay. I love you guys are just entrancement fucking machines.
It's what I can do, Ray. It's what I can do.
I'm not saying anything bad about it. It just makes me laugh. You're like, hey, whoa.
Whoa.
Calm
I'm
it
just here to
down a little
talk.
bit. We're just here to
wanna
chat.
talk.
Like, why are you shooting me full of holes?
It's real rude, really, when you think about it.
It really is. All right, so for you is going to be a rouse check.
I don't do so good with those.
Sometimes you do.
Me either.
It's kind of gone back and forth. All right, so you gain a hunger, and then it's going to be your charisma and presence versus her composure and wits.
Oh, I kind of already rolled and got 5.
Oh, okay. Well, I got 3. So you entrance her. You see her kind of like stop for a second and slowly lower the weapon. She looks really confused what's going on here. Like, she just shot at you. Your buddies grabbed Ashram, which, by the way, is now Ashram's go. He's just going to try to shoot Jeff point blank.
Well, I guess gotta hope for the best. Only fucking 1.
So you will take a total of 5 before we
Ouch.
have it. So you're going to take 2, essentially, and make a frenzy test. 2 superficial.
Of course I have to make a frenzy test.
Yes, you do, sir.
My bane. Anybody want to guess if I make this or not?
The smart money's on no, but who am I to judge? You actually made your last one, so who knows?
That is true. Got even more with my willpower, so already then.
As he pulls the trigger, you manage to pull yourself aside a little bit, but you can feel the shotgun blast kind of rip through, like your left side, and it takes a portion of your flesh with it, and definitely part of your shirt. The anger hits you after the pain. You can smell the sizzle of your own flesh, and your beast just kind of crawls at the back of your throat, but you shove it down. You have a grip on this guy. What do you do?
I'm gonna bite him.
Just like,
Yes.
okay. Death
shot
Sprawl. And he's going to try to roll his Death Sprawl to plant your face into the wall.
Yeah, that's fair.
You got 1.
I got 3, sir. You have to have 2 10s for them to count as extra, right?
Correct. Yes. If you
Okay,
can,
yeah,
if
so
you 2
good.
successes, it's a crit, which means each 10 counts as 2. So you bite him in the neck, and you get that hot rush of blood immediately, and you feel him go limp. For Preston, you hear the shotgun that this guy was holding hit the ground and kind of rattle to a stop, as there's this soft grunt as Sullivan has now just bit this guy in the neck. The woman in front of you, she tries to raise her gun towards Jeff, but you're in the way. You can see there's hesitance there. What do you do?
I'm just gonna keep talking to her. It's gonna be okay. It's just me and you. Just talk to me. We just came here to chat. He's gonna be fine.
You say we just came here to
Your
chat,
attention on me.
and she screams at you. Like, she's angry, but not at you. She's like, he's killing my brother. And she goes a sidestep to try to circle around you to get a clear shot at Jeff. Do you try to interpose yourself still?
Yeah.
All right. We need to do another entrancement check, essentially. So go ahead and roll your charisma and presence. You're more than likely going to win. Actually, you 100% are. She's only got 0 successes. You've got 4. So she tries to move to get around you. You interpose yourself between her and Jeff so she can't get a clear shot at them, basically offensively using your presence to avoid your partner getting shot. And she goes to raise the gun at you, but at the last moment, she points it back down to the ground, and you can just feel this boiling level of frustration now in her. This is not going to end well, one way or the other. Just, you can tell, like, either your hold's going to have to break because she's literally watching somebody she loves get murdered in front of her eyes, and it's just you going, hey, it's okay, we came to talk, or it's just going to go off the rails another way, sideways. This is a limited option situation at this point in time.
Yeah. So I want to. I'm going to tell her, go to him, but I need the gun. So I'm going to put my hand on the barrel of the rifle. It's okay, you can go to him, but I need this.
Okay. Jeff, what are you doing? Continuing to drink?
Yes, sir.
Okay. She lets you take the gun, and she
I'll
bolts
satiate 100 with
past
that,
you.
right?
Yes. And she will bolt past you. Do you let her go?
No, I am going to grab and bite her.
Okay. This is definitely going to be a dex brawl situation.
Am I able to heal while I feed, or do I have to wait until after to start healing?
You can rouse after this round. Let's do this really quick to see if she gets past, and she does not, apparently. She will spend a willpower.
I'm going to
Not meant to
roll
be.
my dex brawl, and I'm going to use 2 dice.
Okay. You guys have 3 remaining.
I got
You
one.
grab her. You can definitely put a bite on her next turn. She is struggling in your arms. At this point in time, your entrancements will break once you have her.
Yep.
Jeff, you make your rouse check.
Hey, I succeeded.
Cool. You don't get hungry again. At your level of blood points, you will heal 2 levels of superficial damage.
Perfect. That'll put me back to normal.
Willpower test?
For me?
Yep. Difficulty's 4.
Well, that's not cool.
Whose blood is flowing through the veins, Jeff?
Oh, that's very true. Not just hers. Well, yeah, it's just hers. Can be my ancestors.
All right. So that's
I will.
2.
I can't blow willpower, so because it's a willpower roll.
You can, technically.
Yeah, but that's dumb, so I'm not gonna.
As you drink, Jeff, you get hit with this. You start pulling past the mortal blood in this person's system, and you tap into the kindred vitae that's inside of him, making him a ghoul. When that blood hits you, everything goes black. For Preston, as you're holding on to this woman, you hear this unearthly howl rip out of Sullivan's throat. What do you do?
So I'm not going to be drinking. I want to just tear her throat out.
Okay. So you're like,
thanks.
I'll deal with that in a second. And
I
go
need
and
to
just
kill
bite
you
and tear.
first. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Dex and Brawl. At this point, we go straight damage. I will roll her athletics and Dex, which is a whopping 1 success. You get 1. So, protagonist, you will win the contest, essentially. You'll rip out her throat and see the blood start to well, and when it hits the air, the smell is incredibly potent. Sullivan, you're on this weird trip. Like, you've had visions with your stuff before. Like, you've seen things, according to whatever whims fate bring to you in terms of your potential death, etc. Death of your companions. This is different. You find yourself in Chicago, just the sensation of it, but it's not a city. There's no city here. It's just Fort Dearborn, essentially. And there's been this massive battle between the natives and the soldiers that were stationed here. It was this horrible massacre, essentially. Blood's in the air, incredibly strong. And you see what you remember to be the visage of Narissa standing over this field of battle with 2 other people beside her. And for a moment, as she turns and almost seems to see you, you get locked into her perspective. She's talking with these 2 pale strangers, definitely not from this area. And they're talking this language you don't understand at first, but as you spend more time in this vision, it becomes more clear. They're speaking to her in her native tongue. And they've basically said that in return for our assistance with your people's revenge, you now have to aid us. And you get a moment of panic from you, and you see one of those two descend upon you and bite into the neck. Everything goes black and fades away. You come to, and Sean, as you finish kind of murdering effectively the woman in front of you by tearing her throat, holding her down while she bleeds out, you will see Sullivan go on his knees and start screaming bloody murder. And he's bleeding black tears from his eyes, and this blood's just pouring out of his mouth. It's just black viscous material. This black viscous fluid is just kind of pouring out of his mouth as if he's vomiting this bile out of his body again. Jeff, you come to on your hands and knees, and you realize you've been working for the wrong side. What Nerissa's doing is inevitable. It is time. Drinking of her blood, you understand, there's no stopping this child from waking up. It's either you assist it or you end up on the funeral pyres. AKA, you get this massive one-step, two-step bond towards Nerissa at this point in time, and through her, whatever has affected her.
All right. I'll stand up, and I'll walk over to Preston.
You'll see that Ashram slumps back down, and he's laying, like with his back against the wall, and off to the corner of the front room here, blood's just pouring out of his neck from where Sullivan bit him.
You all right?
His eyes are all black when you look at him.
I'm gonna take a step back.
We need to go.
Yeah, you gonna finish up? And I'll motion to Ashram.
Oh, yeah, I probably should.
Yeah, you don't feel
I'll go close his wound.
All right, you don't feel any particular attachment to him whatsoever.
No, nothing?
No, these two are just,
all right.
They're pawns.
Oh, all right. Well, then I'll just shrug. He's bleeding to death. What do I care? I mean, all right. I'll walk back over to him. I'll go grab the shotgun out of his hand.
Oh, it's no longer in his hand. It dropped to the ground while you basically start drinking. But it's there, you pick it up.
Is it a double barrel or is it it's a pump, right?
It's a pump action, yep.
I'll pump it and I'll shoot him right at his neck where I bit, so it'll look like a gunshot wound, not a bite wound.
Okay. Yeah, you'll grab the weapon, pump it, and when the shells will go flying out and tink across the floor, you look at his neck, aim, pull the trigger, just blood splatters all over the back wall. And it actually blows through the drywall behind him.
Cool. I'll put the rifle down next to the dead woman. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yep, let's go. I'll drop the rifle or the gun down right by where his hand fell.
Okay. You guys head out. You can hear dogs barking in the neighborhood. A lot of lights are now on at different buildings that are on the street. You can see people like looking out their windows, like pushing their curtains to the side to see what the fuck is going on.
Let's try and stealth our way out of here.
Absolutely. Go obfuscate.
They fuck that, duck back inside, woof, turn to a ghost, and then Preston's by himself in this bloodbath.
Yeah, I only have cloak, so I'll have to rely on my natural ability as a predator to stay in the shadows.
Dexterity stealth, sir.
Yeah,
and you have 3 dice, just so you're aware.
That's what I was asking for. Okay, Dex stealth. I will use 1 dice.
Okay.
That didn't even cross my mind, the fact that she was so potent-blooded that I could get blood bombed through her ghouls, which is why I didn't worry about it. But clearly I was wrong.
It's actually a ritual I wrote for her that this was back like literally day 1. I just couldn't find their names. That if you guys got to the ghouls and drank them dry or started drinking from them, if you hit her blood, you're fucked. Like and it's not because of her blood so potent, it's what's inside of her.
Right. It's because she's touched by the child.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it for sure. I just didn't think about it.
So
I got 2.
2 from the average looky-loo in the city, you're fine. You sneak out, you manage to just kind of peek and see when the curtains kind of go back while people use their phones, and you slide out. You literally jump off that, like the little porch, down to the garden apartment and sneak your way across the lawn, jump the fence, and run towards the SUV. Sullivan's watching this. It's like he's doing American Gladiators. He's like, whoa, ducks, rolls, runs, jumps the fence. Like, you're like, what is going on with this guy? And you start walking, just walking down the steps towards the open, like chain link gateway to the sidewalk and walk across the street. And as you get towards the SUV, you hear this voice in your head. I've been waiting for you. You hear Nerissa's voice. You
were right this whole time.
I know I've been right. You've just been...
Why didn't you show us sooner?
We tried. But, your brother refused to see wisdom.
I'll make him see.
I have a problem.
What's that?
The nest has been compromised. 2 of my children are dead.
Well, we haven't acted well. We would have to repurpose it.
You'll know what to do when you get there.
Okay.
And you'll feel her presence fade a little bit, but you will get this weird sensation as you stumble towards the SUV and kind of get your keys out to go open the Lexus because you're the driver. You hit the button to unlock it, and as the lights flash, you see in your vision, they're not the lights flashing, the blinkers, it's gunfire. And you're back upon another field, and you literally are running down a couple of other, looks like either ghouls or some other sort of servants. You know that they're in service of another vampire, and literally they're shooting at you as you're again finding yourself in Nurse's body as she's running across the snow outside of Fort Dearborn. And you jump these two, and you know what you have to get to is the sleeping body of this ancient that has been drugged here by your sire. And essentially, as you start kind of steadying yourself as this weird vision hits you, you touch the glass of the window of the driver's side of the SUV, and your vision flashes forward several times, and you can see that the sire that you feel is yours is not Atal Shen. You see Atal Shen. You see this individual, and you recognize him because you were him in another vision like a couple months ago. But as you look down at this corporate figure that you managed to rescue from these other vampires, it looks up at you, and its eyes are the abyss. And when it grabs you, it pulls you towards the chest and crushes you. You can feel your body getting literally crushed against it as it drinks from you. At the same point in time, you feel this dark blood just start forcing its way through your mouth as you're effectively being re-embraced. But something inside that blood is wrong. And it immediately starts twisting your perceptions. And you see the world as it is. It's this failed experiment that has gone on too far and pushed the true inheritors of this universe into slumber. And now you and the rest of them need to wake up. And that's when you come to, and you're inside the SUV. You've somehow got yourself inside. You've sat down. For Preston, you've watched him walk up to the car, unlock it, and he kind of stumbled for a second, put his hand against the windshield of the driver's side to kind of steady himself, opened the door, got inside, and as he adjusts the mirrors, it's almost like his body's on autopilot. His eyes are all black again. You can see his wounds healing themselves. That blood ichor that had kind of gotten all over the front of his body has now slowly started to recede back to his mouth and back up to his eyes. And then he just comes to, and you see that he looks completely normal as he starts the car up.
Where to next?
Home, because I got shot, and
I did
so
too.
I can't go out and about.
Oh
Fucking
yeah, our
bullet
clothes are all
holes in
fucked
me.
up. That's a good point. I'm gonna entrance Sean.
Oh, shit. Rouse check for 1.
Ooh.
I did not think we would get to this, guys. It's going to be the presence wars back and forth.
I succeeded.
All right, so you don't get any more hunger. Roll your presence and your charisma, and Sean, your charisma, your composure and wits. Do either of you want to use dice?
I'm gonna use a willpower to boost my social stats.
Willpower doesn't boost you. You have to rouse to boost yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I just roused, so I can't rouse again right now
Yeah.
because I can only rouse once a round.
Yeah.
So never mind.
Well, you can only rouse for one thing per round,
I will go back to hunger.
but you get your +2.
Yes, I do.
Sean, would you like to spend any dice or rouse?
I'll rouse.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
I'm not going to use any player dice because I think that would be unfair to use them against each other. Unless
right.
Sean does, and then all bets are off.
Sean,
It's a gentleman's game until it's not.
Right, exactly,
So-
exactly.
you will gain another hunger, Sean, as you have failed your rouse check, but you get your +2. Sullivan gets
I have total of 7 successes with the 2
got a
tens.
crit success.
I'm rolling composure plus wits.
Yes, sir.
+2.
Oh, also 5 successes. Wow, dude.
But you got 7 actually, Jake.
But
'cause
you got
two
7
tens.
because you got the 2
Oh,
tens.
that's true.
I
Do
did
you-
not get. I only got 110.
Do you want to roll willpower, Sean?
Yes.
Ooh.
So I can only re-roll what, 2 of them?
Yes, 2 of them. If you get another 10 though, that's an auto tie right there.
Nope.
No. That's
No,
only
so
6.
6. So Sullivan will entrance you. Sullivan, you now have him entranced.
Listen, Preston, you've been all wrong about this. I think it's time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they wanted us to visit and talk. I think the
No.
note was to let us know they were here so we could deal with them. and we fucking did. So
Well,
fuck that
I,
bitch.
I didn't mean it in that way. I think we were wrong. Look at this world. Look at what's going on in just Chicago. Let's compartmentalize that a minute. Look what's happened in even the past 100 years. How much shit has occurred in just Chicago? How many murders happened last year? How many rapes? How many child traffic? I mean, it's almost countless. What has happened to this world? Think about it. How is now not the time? Technology rules everyone's lives. Nobody does anything for themselves anymore. It's become a world for prey. Everyone's fat and slobby and lazy, and they let technology or other people do their work for them. More living off the land. They're scourging the land. There's almost no land left. Even the places where we're not supposed to go. Overpopulation from what? 4 billion to 7 billion in almost 60 years? Come on. The world just can't sustain that anyways.
You know, Sullivan, I love you, man. But I think I'm bleeding inside my chest.
No,
What's the point?
we're going. The point is, maybe it's time to wake them up. Maybe it's time we take our true path instead of foregoing it for what, the next 100 years, 200 years. Will humanity be around in that long, even without us doing anything? Like, at that point, why bother? Like, it's a blink of an eye. We just do it now, ascend our thrones, and live in whatever dimension our gods put us in for serving them.
You think
We live
that's
like
how?
kings. We don't have to hide from humans. We don't have to worry about the sun anymore.
Come on. You think that's how it works?
Or it all ends and we don't feel pain or nothing happens, and it won't matter anyways.
Sullivan,
Think about it. Just take the ride to think about it.
listen. Let me just put it to you this way. Okay? You know what they are. You
I
know
do.
what is sleeping. And when they wake up, you know what's going to happen.
Sure.
So, do you really, really believe in your heart of hearts that these omnipotent, all powerful, godlike beings, once they wake up and have gotten what they want, that they're actually going to need us for anything? To keep us around? To what? For what?
You know what? That's almost better.
It's
We'll be
better.
dispatched. Yeah, think about it. We'll be dispatched with everything else in seconds. Nothing will matter anymore. We won't hurt. We won't feel the hunger. We won't need to pursue our goals.
Are you guys
It's
staying?
just over.
Are you guys still in the
No,
car?
I'm driving.
Okay.
I'm driving.
You will see 2 squad cars pass you going the way you guys came from.
Ooh, shots fired.
Like I said, what better time than now? Look at the trajectory of the world. Tell me where humanity will be in 200 years. Us driving is kindred, not you. I'm saying kindred, driving or not. It's headed for ruin. There's water shortages, there's food shortages, there's disease running rampant, and there will be more. The more the ice caps melt, the more shit's going to be released from back before we discovered immunity, before our bodies even came about. Like, let's be real. We have a couple 100 years, 500 max. And they're not going to perfect travel enough for us to go to fucking another planet by then. Come on. Let's be real here. In a blink of an eye, existence will be dead anyways.
Hey, you know what? You make a lot of sense. You're giving me a lot to think about. And I think I'm going to take the time that it will take for this buckshot to work its way out of my chest to consider what you said.
All right. I'm just seeing the world for how it is now.
Hey, we're struggling. There's a lot of strife. We're doing all this shit. And yeah, man, maybe it's just time. Maybe now of all time in history, right now, just after we went in there and you drank some weird blood and your eyes went black. Now is the time. After that.
All right, can we really fault Preston for his closing line there? I mean, what great timing for Sullivan to change his mind. And as the suspicions rise, things get a little tense on the rest of the way home. And as things progress, well, we'll see what happens next episode. See you all then.